I recently did a video about the new mods that are up on the Bedrock Marketplace. I always do this whenever there's an update, but this time I noticed that there were 3 new mods from Lifeboat Studios, and they got my attention. There were Rockett Adventure, Dinosaurs City, Rockett Adventure, Egyptian Endermen, and Rockett Adventure, Space Dragons. Now, I have some history with Lifeboat Studios. I've played some of their maps, and they're okay. They normally are kind of small with not that much to do in them, and once you're done, well, you're done. But these 3 seem to be unique since they were 3 episodes continuing the same story. So I wanted to take a look at them and see if they're any good. So let's take a look at each individual episode. Okay, so episode 1, Dinosaur City, introduces us to the Rockett family. You have Mom and Dad Rockett, and the 2 kids, Jake and Nora. Now, Jake and Nora are actually the playable characters. Before each episode, you get to choose which one of the 2 you're going to be. After you do that, the episode starts. So we start out in the zoo with Dad and Jake and Nora. Mom is nowhere to be found. In fact, you barely see Mom at all in this first episode. But you do see Dad. A lot of Dad, unfortunately. I mean, look at that face. Seriously, guys. You couldn't give him a better expression than that? It wears me out. Is he happy? Is he excited? Is he surprised? I don't know. It's just weird. And he never changes that expression, by the way. It's always like that. He and his kids get attacked by dinosaurs? Same face. He finds out his wife is trapped in her lab across town while there's dangerous dinosaurs loose? Same face. You know, it's like he's surprised or excited about something, but at the same time, he's like seeing some deep crap go down and it's messed him up for the rest of his life. Now he's forced to stare out into space constantly. I don't know, maybe I'm taking the face too seriously, but I have to see it a lot, because no matter what character you choose, the other character and the dad are going to be following you all around the map. So you're going to turn around sometimes, and he's going to be there, staring at you, with that weird face. Ugh. Anyway, after we leave the zoo, you get your first quest, which I actually missed the first time. But it wasn't the game's fault. You see, in the beginning of the game, you get a guidebook that tells you how to do all the quests. Every episode has it. But I didn't read it because I wanted to figure out the quest on my own. Also, the characters are voiced, and they'll give you hints about what you need to do for each quest. Again, I wasn't paying attention. But the fact that these characters are voiced is a positive for me. I am constantly saying in every single Let's Play and review that I do that you need to make sure the characters are voiced in these mods. It just helps the story so much when you can just listen instead of having to read. When you slow down to have to read, it kind of breaks from the momentum. So no matter what type of story you're writing, even if it's an awesome, exciting one, having to stop playing to read text just takes away from it. So, whenever a studio takes the time and effort to actually put voices into their mods, I try to make sure to always point it out and commend them. Now, it's not the best voice acting, nor is it have the best quality, but it still is nice to have it at all. So, getting back to the episode, the first quest you do has you going around the city, finding T-Rexes, and taking them out, so that you can get the pieces of the time machine that are in each one of them. You see, the mom is a scientist. She built a time machine, it blew up, and now there's dinosaurs all over the city. So once you have all the time machine pieces, you can go to the lab to try to get in. But the door's locked. The only way to open it is you have to go back out into the world and collect one of each dinosaur. Now when I say collect, I mean you hit with a sword until it dies and it causes it to shrink for some strange reason, and then you pick it back up. Once you have one of each dinosaur, you take them to the door, throw them into a unique slot for each one, and boom, the door opens. Once you're in the lab, you have to rearrange the time machine pieces, and that opens up a time portal, and that's the end. Yeah, it's kind of short when it comes to the quests, but there still is one good thing about this mod, and that is the map itself. It's beautiful, it's big, it's wonderfully designed. Every single building you can go into, and each one is uniquely designed and decorated, with loot hidden in it if you take the time to actually go through each. Meanwhile, you have cars you can drive and dinosaurs you can fight all over the map. I do really enjoy this mod for its map, and the map kind of makes it worth picking up. Well, that and the fact that it is free. Yes, episode 1 of this trilogy is free, but episode 2 and 3 do cost money. So why don't we take a look at them to see if they are worth the money they cost. Now, episode 2, Egyptian Enderman's quests, are set up very similar to episode 1's quests, but instead of collecting time machine pieces from dinosaurs, you're collecting UFO pieces that have been scattered across the map. And instead of using random dinosaurs to open up a lab door, you're collecting ender pearls from Endermen to open up a pyramid door. Now, after you do all that, you reassemble the UFO pieces, and that's the end of the quests. Now, these quests aren't bad, but they're just a little shorter than what I was expecting, seeing that this mod does cost money. Yes, I understand it's not that expensive. I think it's like $3 or $4, but still, if you have people paying, you want to make sure they're getting the most out of their money. But this mod's saving grace, once again, is the map. You're in an Egyptian-themed custom-made map with pyramids, temples, towers, and marketplaces. All kinds of things that you can explore. Not to mention that I find the Egyptian-themed mobs kind of cool, especially the Egyptian-themed Endermen. So although the quests aren't my favorite, the map that is in this mod makes it worth picking up. So, what about the third episode, Space Dragons? Now I'm going to be honest with you. I do not like space dragons at all. And it's not just the quest this time. The map itself is, well, kind of boring. But before I get into that, why don't I break down everything you do in this episode first. Now, you crash your UFO in space, then take a leap of faith, but not really, because if you crouch over the side, you can clearly see that there's water down there. But once you land in the water, you find a space dragon. Now, I will admit, the space dragon looks really cool. Okay, I definitely like his design. And you get to fly him, which is also cool. I love flying dragons in mods. But that's it. That's all you do with him. He doesn't fight anything. You don't fight him to tame him or anything. You just walk up to him and then fly him. And I feel like this is a waste of a really well-designed mob. I would have loved to either have some combat with him, or at least be able to fight things with him helping me, or fly him over to something and he fires something at them. I mean, the mod is called Space Dragons. You would think there'd be some combat with a dragon at some point, but there really isn't. Anyway, moving on, once you get the space dragon, you can fly it to a squared planet. Once on the squared planet, you can fight a bunch of different colored Endermen and diamond golems. Once you collect enough diamonds by fighting the diamond golems, you can open up a trapdoor that leads down to a multi-level where an ender dragon is guarding a cage that holds mom and dad. Now, if you want to open the cage, you have to go around to 4 uniquely designed jumping puzzles. But, although they are cool looking puzzles, you can completely skip them. You see, I've been fighting a ton of Endermen, and I have a bunch of Ender Pearls. You could just throw them on the top of the puzzle. Boom, you've circumvented the whole entire puzzle now. Now, I don't think that's how they wanted this section completed, but they have you fighting a lot of Endermen, so they really should have turned off the loot drop for them because of this, if they were going to have a jumping puzzle at the end of the game. Once you finish the jumping puzzles, you have to destroy 3 crystals. Once those crystals are destroyed, which they're easy, you just shoot them with an arrow, Mom and Dad are free. The Ender Dragon wakes up, and that's the end. Yeah, the quests did change from the other ones, but not for the better. And this time, it doesn't have a really cool map to save it. In fact, this map I found very boring. You're not exploring an ancient Egyptian city or exploring a huge giant city full of dinosaurs. You're actually in one small area where most of the buildings kind of look and feel the same. You don't really do that much. You kind of get your quests done, and that's the end. There's nothing really to explore once you're done. And that really, really makes it hard for me to recommend this episode to anyone. But I really do recommend the first 2 episodes, mainly because of their maps. I've played tons of mobs that are just maps, really cool, uniquely designed maps. And I have fun on them all the time. And I had fun with the maps in episode 1 and 2 as well. So those I find worth it, mainly because, well, episode 1 is free, and then episode 2 is not that expensive. But even if it was a little bit expensive, I would still say that its map is cool and unique design, worth exploring. Well, that's gonna bring our video to an end. If you have any mods or games you feel that we should play or review on the channel, why don't you leave your suggestions in the comment sections down below. But thanks again for watching to the end. It really helps us when you do that. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But as for now, I'm Average Arcader. Have a nice day.